The reality is, my first year in the business, I did 42 open houses that year, and I closed $3.5 million directly from open houses. So I'm still receiving clients and residuals and referrals, et cetera, from those 42 open houses 13 years ago. My expectation is I get one good lead from every open house. So how many good leads do I want to have? Well, that's how many open houses I need.
Have you ever wanted to spend your life traveling and still maintain a killer real estate business? Well, today's guest talks about how she was able to do that. She closed 20 million in volume while traveling for over a quarter of the year and spending 60 consecutive days out of the country. So you're going to learn the language to use to set the expectations and the boundaries with your clients to do so and thrive. And also, the other half of the show is all about open houses. So what to do if you have no leads in your pipeline and you don't know how to fill it. We're going to talk about how open houses can change that world for you, how to market for them, how to run the open house, how to best convert those people.
We have Kim Wilkin. You can find her on kimwilkin.com, on Instagram, Kim Wilkin Real Estate, and on YouTube as well. She has a really, really big YouTube following on a different industry that she uses to actually get pollinate is a better word, and get clients from there. She works in the Austin, Texas market. She's been an agent for 12 years. She's done 350 transactions, 30 in the last year, between 12 and $20 million in volume every year. She focuses on relocation because of her social media and YouTube, investors, and luxury. She's a team lead. We go into her favorite apps and tools. And she has a bachelor's in finance from University of Texas. She specializes in the downtown and central Austin. So if you're looking at sending a referral out there, it'll be for the downtown and central Austin, Texas area. And she consistently ranks top 10% of realtors in all of Austin year after year and holds that certification for the luxury home marketing specialist. With all that said, let's bring on the amazing Kim Wilkin. Welcome to the Agent Goldmine, the only podcast in the world specifically for real estate agents who are stuck at 5 transactions a year to help them get to 20 plus. Your hosts, Ali Garced and Shelby Johnson, 2 EXP icon agents, each do over 40 transactions a year and interview others who are crushing it. In this podcast, you'll receive the knowledge to help you scale your business using systems and processes with our interviews and monologues twice a week. If you want to be a part of our community, reach out. Welcome to the show.
Okay, Kim, you have been known to sell $20 million worth of real estate in the same year that you've traveled overseas for 4 of those months, including 60 consecutive days in Spain. How did you do this?
Well, my opinion is you've got to build this real estate business the way that you want to live your life, or it's going to take control of your life. So anytime that you start a path and you've got certain style of clients, certain way of doing business, and if it's not taking you where you want to go, you've got to back up, redirect, and head in a different direction. So for me, my shtick is travel. I'm a YouTuber in travel as well as a full-time realtor, and I have been to 65 countries and lived in 5. And the reason I do this business is for travel. And in our business, all our clients expect us to be here all of the time. So it's all about the language that you use, and it's all about the expectations that you set with your clients. Now, I'm terrible at boundaries. I'm horrible at boundaries, but I'm really, really good at expectations. So what I have done with my business, and I started this back in 2020, when COVID happened, I saw an opportunity for the first time, people talking about remote work, whereas I've known about remote work for 25 years. And people started doing things online and being in different locations and going to live in different places while still maintaining their business. And I thought, this is it. This is the opportunity. This is how I can change my business to build a business where I can be gone. And yes, in 2022, I did 20 million and traveled for 4 months, all of it overseas, 2 months in Spain, a month in Italy, and a month in Mexico. And of course, you have to pick the months or the time that you're going to be gone. You don't want to be gone in the middle of the height of your season. However, my business is typically quiet, sort of 1st of August through the 1st of October. And every year I'm gone at least 50% of that time because nobody's going to miss me. Now, am I off every day that I'm gone? No, you can't. In this business, I don't feel that you can take 60 days off without working unless you're really, really good at your boundaries and you're really, really good at your expectations. But you can take off plenty of time. And I did get away with not a single client knowing that I was gone for 27 days. It was 27 days before a client knew I was overseas. And what happened was I had a client call me and she's, your phone sounds weird. And I thought, well, I don't know what you're talking about. She's, your ring is weird. I called you 3 times. I'm like, I know you called me 3 times. That's why I'm answering the phone. And she was like, what's going on? And I was like, well, I'm overseas. And she was like, well, how long are you going to be gone? And I'm like, I'll be back next week. It'll be fine. And she was none the wiser that I had already been gone for 27 days. And she was a listing. So you can do it. You can do it. You just have to organize your language, talk about certain things. And even if you don't have a team, you have to organize it to make it sound like you are fully supported.
100%. And this leads us right to your golden nugget. So I want to introduce this now. You brought an awesome golden nugget, which everyone can find for free at theagentgoldmine.com. Scroll all the way down to the bottom. And so let's continue going through this, especially with the line that you said that you are good at setting expectations, but not that good at boundaries. Can you elaborate on that?
Sure. So I have a lot of templates set up. All of my language in my buyer packet, seller packet, buyer introduction email, leasing for landlords, all those big templates explain my team. Whether I physically have all those people on my team or not, that really doesn't matter. I say I have a business partner, which is at, your client thinks that they're at the same level you are. When you say a business partner, I say I have a listing specialist. I have a buyer specialist instead of a buyer's agent and a listing, a coordinator. That sounds like they're below you. When you say they're a specialist and when you say they're your business partner, your clients feel like they're dealing with someone at least your level. Now, here's the trick. I don't always have those people. So what I do is when I get ready to go out of town, I will call a colleague of mine who is a rock star agent, not an underling, that happens to live in maybe the same area this client is living in. And I will say, hey, I'm headed out of town and my business partner just happens to live in the neighborhood where you're looking to buy. I'm going to be out of town. They're going to take great care of you. Remember, I introduced you to my business partner at the beginning of our relationship. And they go, oh yeah, that's fantastic. They're none the wiser. I didn't have to have this big, massive team to manage. I get to go on vacation for as long as I want. And I've already negotiated with this other agent who is a rock star. We've talked about referral fees, how much they're going to do, how much they're not going to do, how long I'm going to be gone. And I say, hey, would you like to be my business partner for this particular client for this particular period of time? And they're like, yep, I'm in. And nobody's the wiser. And my clients are so well cared for. Instead of me having a team of underlings, all of these people that I still have to manage, I just go, here, client, you're going to be the most amazingly cared for human being on the face of the earth because I just handed you off to a rock star.
How are you finding the agents and what referral fee are you sharing?
Typically, I find the agents within my company. I'm with EXP, and I will just reach out to other agents in that particular area. So I live in Austin, Texas. If somebody's looking north, I'll go find somebody that's up there that is well-versed, that it's not going to be too much effort, time, energy, and, driving time for them. And that's how I find them through my own company. And then if there's nobody from my company, I've been in the business so long with multiple brokers over time, I can reach out to any of my colleagues and they'll do it because I've aligned myself with people in the business who want to have a life outside of real estate. So we all have each other's backs. And I find that I need help covering while I'm traveling. Whereas I've got some colleagues that want to spend more time with their kids kids and want to go to all the baseball games and want to go to Disney World and all that. So I'll have their back when they want to spend more time with their family. They have my back when I travel.
What was the referral? Is it like a 25% or what referral do you guys do
Typically,
normally?
yeah, 25%. Yeah. And it really depends on how some of the colleagues that I have, I've been doing this for so long. They'll say, hey, I got your back. I'll show them a couple of houses. If it gets any more than that, I'll let you know. And
Yeah, totally.
sometimes it's just, I take them to dinner if they're just sort of helping out a little bit. If they're full on taking control of the situation, it's a 25% referral fee and dinner usually. Then I can see my friends
Thank
too.
you. Yeah. No, I love it. That's a really good point, especially having been a team leader for years where, I got into the team leader role very quickly. It was like I did 1 year as a solo agent and then became a team leader. And I was learning as I went, of course. And one of the things looking back now was the amount of money that I just threw down the drain in a lot of ways, just because, like you said, where you partner with a rock star agent as opposed to every single new person you want to give a chance and you want, but they haven't put in the work or had the full amount of training that, we were providing by the time I was like, hey, here's a lead. And so it's kind of like that, like when you are thinking about your business in a very strategic way, especially if you do not want to build a team, it's like you calculated decisions about who you decide to partner with and someone who's already put in the work and has the reps and will do an amazing job as opposed to just someone off the streets. So love that you said that.
At the end of the day, your clients want to be taken care of and they want to get through the finish line smoothly, seamlessly, easily. They want to be well cared for. And if you can hand them off to a rock star and claim that as your business partner, more power to you.
Okay, at this point, we have the language. We're talking about business partner, listing specialist, buyer specialist, and some expectations that you set in the beginning about how those people are part of your team. What other expectations or language should we be, curious about or particular to before we move over to how you're generating your leads in foreign countries and how you're staying organized? But have we tied up the bow on this first part yet?
Yeah. So I have stopped saying I completely. I have a group. So I have the Abundant Property Group, which matches my YouTube channel for travel called The Abundant Traveler. So I've tied the two together. But the Abundant Property Group, I just simply say we. I stopped with, I will take care of this. I will do this. I will do this. I will do this. I say, we're going to take care of you. Our group is going to take care of you. We're going to do this for you. And also all of my template emails say we. I mean, if I'm typing an email, I'll say, hey, I did this for you. But in general, all the templates, all the flyers, all the everything say we instead of I. Even if I never introduce them to somebody, they think that I have support. And if I need support because I'm out of here to some foreign country, then they know that they've been informed, even subconsciously, that there's other people around to help them succeed. That's the key. Introducing them it's like putting your hours. When you first talk to somebody, speaking of boundaries, you said, I did say I'm good at expectations. I'm lousy at boundaries. I just realized in my buyer original email that I have all these expectations and who they are, but I don't have the boundaries as to what my hours are. And I've had this template for a year and a half. So we all are learning all of the time.
Yeah. And in part of that golden nugget, one of the last ones says to set an autoresponder for your after hours. Like, brilliant. I never even thought about doing that. Something that like other businesses do. Hey, you've caught us after fucking hours. Try again tomorrow.
Yeah.
I want to go over. So you're very active on social media. And your Abundant Traveler YouTube has over 32,000 followers. What does that conversation look like when you're about to leave, or do you just not have that conversation? Like, what does that look like? If you're looking to change brokerages this year so you can increase your business and you want to join us at eXp Realty and would like either myself, Ali Garced, or Shelby Johnson to personally sponsor you in, so that way you have access to 2 icon agents, text the word join to either my number, 914-318-4918, or Shelby's number, 703 888-399-4332. If I sponsor you and you have access to the both of us and everything that's 5 Pillars Nation, we have the checklist, the systems, the processes to help you scale your business. And don't take our word for it. We've had agents switch brokerages to join us that were stuck making $300,000 GCI, and they join us so they can scale. So text the word join to those numbers and we'll take the next steps.
So if I'm gone for a month or 60 days, I really don't tell my clients because I can maintain the business from afar and they've been handed off, right? I may say I'm going to be gone for a week, but I don't tell them I'm gone for a month. Or if I'm going to be gone for a month and I have to tell them I'm going to be gone for a month, then I've already got it organized behind the scenes and I've already brought that other person in 2 or 3 weeks before I'm telling the person I'm leaving for a month. So they're already in communication with an extra person because I've prepared my trip long in advance. If I'm gone for a week, I'll tell my clients that I'm going to be gone for a week, but not to worry because you have so-and-so, and I probably have introduced that other so-and-so a couple of weeks beforehand. The goal is for them not to freak out, and they think if you're not there, they're going to miss whatever because you're not there. But most of this job, thanks to 2020 and 2021, we can do remotely most of the time because you can pay somebody to open a door, and opening a door is not our value. That's my number one pet peeve. I mean, flicking on a light. Do you know how much IP I have? I mean, really? Do you know how much I know? And you think my value is me turning on a light? So,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to transition to lead gen. Where are your clients coming from?
Right now, SOI, but a lot of them are pretty settled where they are. I had a lot of young couples over the past 6 or 7 years that are pretty settled in their second home. I get a lot of leads, and I built my business on open houses. I mean, really and truly. And when I start hurting, if I see the pipeline waning, I will start doing open houses again. But it's very, very strategic how I do it, very strategic where I do it as well.
Let's go into that.
Yeah, I was like, I'm in. I want to know. Please tell us how you do your open houses.
First of all, I don't do all the fancy party balloons and all of that. I do a lot of signs, but the number one thing I do is I call around to other listing agents in the neighborhood, and I only do open houses in the neighborhood I want to work or I already know. Then I call those listing agents and I ask them if they have any additional information that's not in MLS. Do they have any upcoming listings that aren't in MLS? Do they know of any off-market listings? That way, when someone comes through the house, I'm very energetically engaged with them. The way you open the door and you invite someone in. As soon as you open the door and invite them in, you literally back up and turn a little to the side, right? So you're not aggressive. First of all, your energy is inviting them in, and then you turn a little bit to the side and it lets them walk past you. And that's how you bring someone into the house and into the space. I also stay pretty quiet about when they first start because you don't want to look like a vulture. And then I just sort of check on them. How you doing? What's going on? I still do handwritten pieces of paper instead of digital. And I always put at the top of the page, even if it's the first guest that day at an open house, I always fill in another person's name. I make up a name. I put a name, an email address, and a phone number very clearly written. Because if someone sees someone else's handwritten name, email, and phone number, they're not afraid to put their name, email, and phone number. And then I look at it. And then once they've written it, I go over to the sheet of paper and I confirm the information that they've provided. And during the conversation, I've asked them a little bit while they're going through the house, what they're looking for and those types of things. How long have you been looking? The typical questions. And then I drop the bomb at some point and I say, well, I know of some off-market listings. I work this neighborhood all the time. Would you like me to stay in touch with you? Would you like me to give you any upcoming listings or off-market listings? I've never had a person say no. You can give them all kinds of fluff and all kinds of flyers and cookies and whatever else, but they want value. And the value is when you have information that they need and they don't have. So I always have an off market listing in my pocket. Always, 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 always when I do an open house.
That's super smart. Yeah, I want an off market listing right now. Okay, Kim, how are you just to back it up just a little bit before the people are coming in the door? You mentioned signs. How are you marketing for the open house? How many signs are you putting out? Where are you putting them? What's the lead up ahead of time look like?
So I post on social media. I tend to put the signs out the morning before if I can, if they won't get stolen. I put out about 10 signs. I've put as many as 15 signs out, and all of my signs are branded to me. I mean, my open house, I'm a believer in you've got to put your face on your signs and your business cards. There are a lot of theories out there, yes or no. I believe that you should have your face on your signs. So even my open house signs have my face on them. At least somebody's looking at my signs 24 hours in advance with the directional. I do lots of social media, and then I open the door and I make sure that I'm there early, and I make sure to stay 5 minutes late. I've picked up a lot of buyers because I waited an extra 5 minutes to shut the door. I mean, it's unbelievable. If it ends at 4:00, somebody invariably will show up at 4:05. And I've picked up so many clients because I was willing to sit there an extra 5 minutes.
That kind of leads into my next question. What day of the week, what time frame, how many hours, those details?
So for me, it's Sunday 2 to 4. I find that's the largest traffic because that's the known time to be doing an open house. If I don't do it 2 to 4, I'll do it 3 to 5 so they can come after the other 4 o'clocks. And if I'm working a particular neighborhood, then I will do it on a weekday, and I will do it 4 to 6 on a weekday if I'm specifically working a particular neighborhood. And then if I don't have a listing in the neighborhood, I strategically find the house that is on the way into the neighborhood. So everybody's driving home from work and they're seeing all my open house signs, and the house is very easy to see from the main street into the neighborhood if I want to build a business in that particular neighborhood.
So, okay. You do the open houses, you're getting their information, they're writing their name and email down legibly because so many people do not. Or even if they try, it's not. That's me. My handwriting's terrible. How do you stay in touch with them? What's your next move at the end of the open house?
At the end of the open house, I send a video before I leave the open house. I literally will do a 30-second video and text them this little video. Hey, because again, they're getting to know you, even though they don't think they are. So I just simply say, hey, it's Kim Wilkin. Just want to say thank you so much for coming by the open house. As promised, I always say as promised, right? So I'm doing what they said they wanted me to do. As promised, I'm going to be sending you the off-market listing, and I'll let you know. I promise not to bombard you with multiple emails, but I will send you anything that I find. Please let me know if you have any questions. I send them my blank business card so they have all my details right there. I get home that night and I immediately follow up with the open house, off-market, or whatever, coming soon, or whatever I've found, because it's already in my back pocket, right? I already had it because I've already done the research with the other agents, and I found something that is off market or a pocket listing or a coming soon. So I can go ahead, and as soon as I send it to them at the end of that email that night, I can say, this is what I found. Would you like to set up a time to discuss this house or set up a showing? And it's another hook, and it's another way to get them with you and spending time with you, is offering that, for them to see that property is huge. It works every time.
That's super cool because it's actually like an actual off market property whereas I know of a couple of real estate agents that will even go so far. So they say even go so far as to bring a whole ass binder with printed pieces of paper that are just expired. So it's off market.
No.
They have that binder closed. They're like, we have a lot of off market properties, but it's like literally anyone can see them because they're just expired.
That's really good.
But yours would actually be like an off market property. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So then you send the information to them via email. You sent them that follow-up video text after saying as promised. So you're already establishing trust.
Mhm.
What is a typical response? Is it typically done? Do people typically respond via email to that off market or to the text? What's like the next step after that?
So typically I don't get a response from the text message, but I know they watched it, right? It's there. There's it's so hard to not watch somebody sending you a little quick video. I mean, we're so used to watching reels and stuff on our phone. I can't prove that they didn't watch it, but they definitely watched it. And then after they do respond to that email because I've hooked them, right? I've dangled the carrot. Here is the property. I can get you in that property. And of course, if they're an active buyer, they want to see the property. They want to know what's out there. After that, I typically will start sending some of the templates that I have, whether it's a buyer, I have a buyer presentation, or maybe it's my buyer introduction email that has multiple things in it about schools, crime rates, etc. And I may just start dripping on them, depending on the conversation we had at the open house, a particular section of that, and just start dripping on them. I'm pretty careful about not setting up a search unless it's once a week, unless they specifically ask for it, or I start to engage with them. I find that, spamming them with a search every day doesn't, they get irritated because they're getting so many emails. So maybe once a week I'll set up a search, but I usually want to engage with them first before I've set up a search. And I just keep pounding away at them. And sometimes it takes 9, 12 months of drips. I mean, it's a lot of drips in the beginning. The first text, the first email, the next day, another email, 2 days later, another email, another text. Just there's no specific cadence. It really depends on how much information I got out of them to begin with. And then if they engage, then we're off to the races. If they don't engage, it's maybe 4 times in the first week, and then 3 times in the second week, 2 times in the third week, and then it's once a week. And I keep sending them off market listings because that's what I told them I could provide. And eventually it's unbelievable. It may be 6, 9 months later and somebody goes, I want to see that off market listing. You haven't heard from them in 6 months and you honestly don't even remember who they are. But because you only met them at open house.
Right.
But
And I feel like that's the classic real estate story. It's like I remember my first listing appointment I ever went on when I first got licensed. I totally bombed it. Like it was terrible. And the guy was like, oh, you know what? We're going to rent, nothing against you. It was no, I'm just kidding. But so he decides to rent, but following up with him 3 years later, and many of which he never replied. I have the text where he just did it right back or whatever. He finally replied and was like, hey, I'm ready to sell. Like, when can you come over? And I'm like, dude, this is just, it's just real estate, right?
it's just real estate.
Oh my God. Okay. But Kim, I'm not ready to let this go just yet with the open houses. So just thinking through, I know you said you don't do any like fancy, balloons or shit or whatever, but in regard to setup, is there anything that you bring? Is there like background slow jams going on? Is there any sort of setup, or is it just unlock the door and roll?
I always have water, because if you follow the 5 love languages, people want what nobody at an open house wants touch. But some people want gifts. Some people, that's how you deal with people. You watch them, words of affirmation, touch, acts of service, quality time, and gifts. So the second somebody walks through the door, you start gauging what their love language is. Of course, you're not going to touch them. But hey, come to the open house. Give me a big old hug. Never seen them before. I always have water, and I always offer them that gift of water, but I don't do cookies, etc. I also, what was the question? Oh, what do I set up? What is the setup? I always have really nice flyers. The flyers always have all of my information on them. I have business cards with all of my information on them. I bring all the comps for the area. That way, if they're looking for something, that I can, provide that information right there. In case I'm dealing with an engineering brain, I've got the numbers. If I'm dealing with a high I on the disc profile, which is different than the love languages, then I've got pretty pictures, so I try and bring that type of stuff. Always have the details, always have the data, always have pretty pictures, always have a pretty flyer. Everything has my name on it and my brand on it. And there's always something they can walk away with besides the bottle of water. What I would love to do, you can get bottles of water with your branding on it. And I really would love to do that. But
yeah, dude, ask Title. Title has surprised me with yeah, with like my brand. I was like, dude, you're it. I love you now.
Uh-huh.
We're working together.
Uh-huh. For sure.
Yeah.
For
Oh,
sure.
okay. So hypothetically, you're in a slump. By the way, so smart to hit on all of the love languages and all of the disc. Like you're speaking our language. When you are in a slump and you're like, man, I gotta pump up the pipeline here. How many open houses are you doing? What is the frequency? So people out there, oh, they're like, oh, Kim just does one open house and then she gets paid for the next 3 years. Maybe they're thinking that. What's the reality?
The reality is, my first year in the business, I did 42 open houses that year, and I closed $3.5 million directly from open houses. So I'm still receiving clients and residuals and referrals, et cetera, from those 42 open houses 13 years ago. My expectation is I get one good lead from every open house. So how many good leads do I want to have? Well, that's how many open houses I need. So if I'm trying to fill the pipeline, I also believe in my market that the home I'm holding open, the lead I'm going to pick up is going to be buying half that price point. So if I'm holding $1 million house open, then I'm going to be selling a $500,000 to $600,000 house to whatever lead I pick up. And I don't think it matters an inexpensive house or an expensive house. You can still pick up one high quality lead. So if I want, 5 leads in the next month, then I need 5 good, solid open houses. And then those 5 leads are going to give me business because they're open houses potentially from 4 to 9 months from now, if I continue to follow up with them for 4 to 9 months. So I've done 5 to get 5 good leads, but I can't guarantee they're all going to get done. So if I'm hurting for business, I'm going to be doing 2 to 3 a week for 2 to 3 months. And that'll start filling my pipeline for the future. It also gets, once you've been in the business for a while, you forget the basics. And sort of going back to the basics is also helpful. So you start doing a basic like an open house again, and it makes you smarter and better sitting behind your desk and doing the basics day to day, picking up the phone and calling your clients when you're supposed to, all those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And agents start to get cocky and they start to, Shelby, when you got that listing after years, some agents would have likely turned, no, I don't want to say nasty, but turn like somewhat mean and like, sure, hello, is this still Kim's number? Agents will do that all the time. And you're going to cut out people, like just because they don't respond for 6 months doesn't mean that you should then flip the script and be like, well, fine, Kim, don't answer me. Like you just lost it forever and you wasted all that time up until that portion and your reputation. But anyway, Kim,
Yes.
what other, we've spoken about living your life on your terms and freaking traveling, touched slightly on social media, open houses. What else have we not spoken about that you want to cover? If you're looking to change brokerages this year so you can increase your business and you want to join us at eXp Realty and would like either myself, Ali Garced, or Shelby Johnson to personally sponsor you in, so that way you have access to 2 icon agents, text the word JOIN to either my number, 914-318-4918, or Shelby's number, 703-399-4332. If I sponsor you and you have access to the both of us and everything that's 5 Pillars Nation, we have the checklist, the systems, the processes to help you scale your business. And don't take our word for it. We've had agents switch brokerages to join us that were stuck making $300,000 GCI, and they join us so they can scale. So text the word JOIN to those numbers and we'll take the next steps.
I have a great story that just happened to me after 12 years of being in the business. Stop being an undercover agent, is what my friend said to me. I was walking with her. She's been in the business 17 years. She's a badass. And she said, we have got to stop being undercover agents because there is a used car salesman kind of reputation. And so when we're in a room or we're walking into a store or something like that, we're not advertising that we're a realtor because they go, oh, yeah, you're one of them. I mean, you're just like everybody else. Everybody's a realtor. Well, my friend said to me, stop being an undercover agent. I happened to go to another small town outside of Austin one Saturday morning to meet a friend for coffee. And I walked into this store and this lady was like, hey, how are you? I'm like, fine. And she said, what brings you to, this store in this town? And I said, well, I sell a lot of homes in this area. which was, I've sold two. I mean, but I just said who I actually was. I didn't play it down. I didn't say I'm a realtor, whatever else. I was just like, I sell a lot of homes very confidently. I'm a realtor. I'm a real estate broker. And I sell a lot of homes in this area. Just haven't been to the, old center of town. She goes, really? You're a realtor? And I said, I am. And she goes, and you work this area? I do. $1.3 million listing I got out of that conversation. That was 5 minutes long.
Yes.
And wait, it gets better. Listing the property behind it. Her kids have a property, getting that listing as well. So stop being an undercover agent and start proudly saying what you do. I mean, you got to give your value, but proudly say, I'm a real estate broker. I'm a realtor. I, help people buy and sell their homes. I help them with homes, largest financial investment they're going to make. Go ahead and say it, say it out loud, be proud, because you never know what's going to happen. I mean, me just saying I sell, homes in this area and I've not been to this town, random conversation is going to lead to around $4 to $5 million worth of listings.
Man, yeah, it's all in the delivery. If you are ashamed or like a little bit like, oh yeah, I'm a real estate agent, like no one's gonna fucking work with you, dude. Yeah. Man, that's amazing. Good for you.
Yeah. And normally I don't even bring it up, right? Especially in, I just don't even bring up what I do. So.
Yeah. Wow. Kim, as we head to our wrap-up questions, I want to ask, what is your favorite app or tool that you use?
I have just started using Focus First again, which is a website. It's a subscription and it will help you, especially in this market with listings, because you upload the comps or it will pull comparisons around automatically, and it gives charts and graphs and pictures. And it's very easy to walk in with a Focus First portfolio of graphs and charts for listing a house, and your client, your seller client says they want to list their house for $750,000, and all of the charts and graphs say, well, if you want to list at $750,000, you're going to be way over here on this chart and you're going to be on the market for 180 days. Do you actually want to be on the market for 180 days? Because if you said you were going to be moving in 3 months, if you want to actually sell your house within 3 months, this chart shows you that you need to be listed at $650,000. It's a game changer. Focus First is a game changer when you're approaching listings for pricing. It's a game changer. So
that is so freaking cool. I love that. I just took note of it and I'm going to look it up afterwards. Love some graphs and some charts.
It's $5 a month, but if you're listing heavy, it's amazing.
Okay. Love. Okay. Next question. What events are you going to in the next 12 months?
I am going to a EXP happy hour tonight.
Oh my God, really? That's fun.
Yes, I am, for our local market. And I am going to our big conference in October, November in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And then another event I'm going to, which has nothing to do with real estate, it has to do with the reason I do real estate. I am going to a Points and Miles conference in November. So I'm going to be around, since I'm a travel YouTuber, I'm going to be around some of the best minds for credit card hacking, etc., for free travel. So I'm going to that conference as well. Those are the events I'm going to that I know of right now.
If you end up taking notes from that conference, my goodness, please send them over, because
sharing is caring.
Oh
yes, sharing is caring.
I am so bad at points and shit. So
I haven't paid for a flight in several years unless I choose to.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. Yeah.
And that's European flights, overseas flights, domestic flights. It's a choice to pay for it.
Oh, shit. Slap across the face, Allie. Where can people find out more about you, and how can we help you in your business?
People can find me at Kim Wilkin Real Estate on YouTube, on Instagram. Also, Kim Wilkin is my website for real estate. You can also find me at The Abundant Traveler everywhere, YouTube, Instagram, email, newsletter, all that, if you're interested in learning about travel and tips and tricks and hacks, and obviously credit card hacking for free travel. So,
and guys, if you are listening and you have a referral for Austin, Texas, send it to Kim. Yeah. And guys, if you want to hang out with me and Allie, you know the drill. We are Allie the Agent and The Shelby Show on Instagram. If you want more of us, you want daily access, or want to join our community, 5 Pillars Nation, let us know. We're always here for it. And otherwise, that is all we have for today. And Kim, thank you so much for coming on the show. You are a freaking badass and an inspiration. And otherwise, listeners out there, be a bro and share this show. Oh my God, it's funny because, well, shit, hold on. Let me mark the clip already. I missed my place. It's okay. Ready, set, action. Well, yes. Today's, fuck you, Allie. Yes, okay.
I love when I mess Shelby up when she's on her roll. Today we have Kim Wilkin. Today we have... If you're looking to change brokerages this year so you can increase your business and you want to join us at eXp Realty and would like either myself, Allie Garced, or Shelby Johnson to personally sponsor you in, so that way you have access to 2 icon agents, text the word JOIN to either my number, 914-318-4918, or Shelby's number, 703-399-4332. If I sponsor you and you have access to the both of us and everything that's 5 Pillars Nation, we have the checklist, the systems, the processes to help you scale your business. And don't take our word for it. We've had agents switch brokerages to join us that were stuck making $300,000 GCI, and they join us so they can scale. So text the word JOIN to those numbers and we'll take the next steps.